Hi everybody, it's Doreen and welcome back to day 15 of Christmas cards with the Cricut. This card I'm calling a repeat card because this card is similar to a card that I made on day 13. So come on and join me and I'm going to show you how I made this card. Okay everybody, so I'm going to bring up the supplies so we can get started with day 15 of the series. So this is going to be, as I said in the beginning, a repeat of day, I believe it was 13's card, except I did some changes with the colors and how I set up the card and put it together. So now, my card is from the Wild Card cartridge, and the handbook looks like this, and the card is on page 34. They're labeling it as a square, so I've gone ahead and cut out the square, the frame, and the liner, and those were all cut out at 5.5 inches. So now let's go to the Gypsy, and I'll show you which key that is and what it looks like on my mat. So this is the card square, as they're calling it right here. So now let's go to that cartridge. And it is the Wild Card cartridge, as I said before. And it is key number 3. And so it looks like this. So you'll cut that out, and then you'll hit the frame key or frame button to get your frame, and key 3. And then the other feature you want to hit is the liner, and then key 3, and that's your liner. So all of that should be cut out at 5.5 inches. So now, and this is just some plain white cardstock. It's some of the Recollections cardstock. The other thing that I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and for my liner piece, I went ahead and rubber stamped this using my rubber stamps, and this time I use some metallic paint on my rubber stamp. Now the one thing about doing that is you have to make sure that once you're done stamping that you wash your stamp right away, because that paint does dry quick and it sticks. So I just took various stamps from this stamp set here, which is an Ink-a-Dink-a-Doo, and it's called Winter Trails. And I picked this up when I did the last rubber stamp show haul that I went to, where I bought a bunch of stamps that were $1. So I used that one, and I used this one right here, and I'm sorry for this glare. But this stamp set is called Christmas in New York. So after, and like I said, that does dry quickly, because I didn't have some black paper that had any types of designs on it, so I decided, well, I'll make my own designs. So that's going to be our top layer. And then the next thing that I did was I once again took some of the acetate, and this is from one of my boxes from my Cricut cartridges, and from making the punching out the branches for our tree, I went ahead and made myself a stencil. And with that, I just took some of the Craft Stampin' Up! Ink, and this is not the water-based ink. This is the Craft, and I used this on the acetate for card number 13. And I went along with a makeup sponge, and I just dotted that like so, all the way on my acetate. Then once I completed my little stencils or branches, I then took some clear embossing powder by Martha Stewart, and I just sprinkled that on there. And this is what I ended up with. So that's actually going to go where my opening is, back behind here, like so. So we're going to go ahead and get this taped down. Now this time I cut a larger piece so I would have something to tape all the way around here. And I didn't measure this. I just cut it till I thought it was big enough. Or actually I did measure it on the liner piece, but I didn't measure it with my paper trimmer. And as you can see, I do have a design on the back, and that was the first design that I did, and I didn't like the way that one came out, so I just flipped it over and redid it again. And I kind of like this one better. This one was just a little too light for me. So we're going to go ahead and add our acetate piece. But I want to make sure I get this on here right. So I want it to go that way. So I'm going to line that up and then flip that over. And then we're going to get some tape on the edges along here. And I'm going to start and work my way down. And then I'm going to work my way across. Make sure I get it. And then go all the way up. And then I'm going to get the top piece up along here. So now we're ready to add my piece. I want to make sure I'm adding this the right way. Or do I want, no, I think I want it to go this way. So let's line up along here, and then I'm just going to press down. And actually, I'm probably not going to be able to get this up, or maybe I can. I want to be over just a little bit more on that right side. And the one thing about working with glitter is you will have glitter everywhere. And it'll be with you for days. Even after you take a shower, you'll still find you have glitter somewhere on you, whether it be in your hair or wherever. It just doesn't seem to go away. So now that's what it looks like. Well, you can't really see that. So let me bring up my mat. So that's what it's going to look like so. So now, because I did go, I have a longer piece down here, I'm just going to go ahead and take my scissors and just snip that off. I probably should line it up in my paper trimmer. And I have been able to cut my acetate with the paper trimmer, but then I would recommend that you use only that blade from now on if you're going to use cut acetate. I wouldn't use it till later then cut paper, because it might be too dull. So now let's go ahead and see if we can get rid of some of this glitter. And then we'll continue on with the card. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and add our frame. Now what I did for the frame was I did the same thing. I added glitter, and once I cut out the frame, and I did cut that out in white, I then took my Krylon Super Quick Grip Spray Adhesive and I sprayed the frame, and then I sprinkled the Martha Stewart Sterling glitter all across, and then I shook it off. And the other thing that I've been doing lately is after I use the glitter, I've gone ahead and then sprayed this with a crystal clear, let me get that. Okay, I've used this Krylon crystal clear acrylic coating. And this is supposed to be a permanent protective gloss finishing. So, and it says it dries in minutes. So right after I use the glitter, I spray this on there. And I noticed it stops the glitter from coming off as much. Now I didn't do it on the acetate because I didn't know what would happen if I did it on that. But I have been doing it on my paper. and it seems to be working. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add the frame to the card. So I'm going to use my Tombow for that. So let's go ahead, my two-way zig pen. I don't know why I keep confusing the two. One is a glue and one is a tape. But I keep saying the wrong one. So we're using the glue pen to get some glue. And because I have this glitter on here, I think I tried this once before and I ended up running it through the Xyron. So we might have to do that again. But I'm first going to try it this way. And then if this doesn't work, then we will have to run this through the Xyron. So we'll see. Okay, it seems that I got it to stick this time. And as I said, you can see I'm running my fingers across here and there's not as much glitter coming up as there was before when I didn't add the coating. So now that I've got that on there, we're ready to add this to the card. So let's get our card out, and I'm going to take this static, I'm not sure what this is called, but I purchased this I think online. It's supposed to pick up the glitter. So we'll now go ahead and open up our card, and we're going to add our top layer. Like so. So let's get out our ATG gun again, and we're going to get our tape. We're going to start with going down the middle first, and then get our edges. And then remember, you're not going to add tape in here. You'll add tape up at the top, and you'll add your tape down the side, because you don't want the tape to show on the other side when you lay your lining down, or your liner. So I think we've got enough tape on there. So now we're going to go ahead and add it to the card. And line it up. And then I'm going to press down and go all the way across. Down, and then back up, and then down in the middle. And I'm doing this because I got that glitter on the other side. I want to make sure that this really sticks. Okay. To make my tree, what I've done is the same technique that I did to make the wreath on day 14's card. So I've gone ahead and cut out a tree, and the tree is from the Christmas cartridge. And as I've said on previous videos, I don't have a handout for that because that was a free download to your Gypsy. So it looks like this, and on the Gypsy, we'll pull the Gypsy out and go to that cartridge, which I'm already there. I've gone ahead and cut out the blackout, and it is key number 31, or I'm sorry, 21. And it looks like this. So I've cut that out at 4.5 inches. And actually I took the aspect ratio off because I needed it to fit within my card. So it's actually 4.5 inches in height and 2.69 in the width. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same technique. This time I went ahead and ran this through my Xyron so it would be sticky on one side, and I didn't have to worry about not having enough tape on there. And then I took my Martha Stewart punch, which is the branch, and as I said on day number 14, they don't sell this particular punch in the store anymore, but you can pick it up on eBay or At least that's where I've got it. Or maybe someone else does carry it. And I think maybe one of the reasons why they stopped selling this one in the stores is I found that when I was punching out my branches that the punch would stick a lot, and I would have to go back and pull it apart with some a screwdriver, or I finally ended up using some wax paper to loosen it up a little bit. I wouldn't use WD-40 because someone recommended that on another site that I was on, and that is not a good idea because then you get the oil from the WD-40 all over your punch, and then it goes through when you start punching, and I don't think you can ever get rid of that. So I punched out some of the branches, and I did this one night while I was watching television. So once again, we're going to start on the edge and just go ahead and press down and just start adding our branches all the way down. And I'm kind of buttoning them up against each other because I want the tree to be nice and full. So I'm going to go all the way on the outside perimeter first, and then I'm going to go on the inside. And I know this is probably hard to see up against this white paper, so let me put it on this, and then you'll be able to see it a little better. So you just keep going along and adding all the way down and around, and then you fill in your middle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to come back with the finished tree. Now we're ready to add the finished Christmas tree. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Christmas tree now that I've gone ahead and shown how to make the Christmas tree. And I've already popped it up on some foam tape. So this is what it ended up looking like. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the glitter, but I really like the way this came out. So I've gone ahead, and what I did after I punched out all of my leaves or branches, and I kind of got carried away because I still have this many left. So I'll have to save them for another project. I then, once again, took my super quick adhesive spray and I sprayed it all the way on each of the branches. And then I took my Stampin' Up! Dazzling Diamond glitter and sprinkled it all over. And then I lightly tapped it off to get rid of any excess. And then after that was done, I then did go ahead and spray it with the Crystal Clear. And I picked both of these up at Michael's, believe it or not. I was very shocked that I was able to find it because I thought I'd be able to find it at a hardware store, but it wasn't possible. So I also have seen this at Kmart, the Super Grip spray adhesive. I've seen it at Kmart and I've seen it at Joann's. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove my foam dots that I have the tape on the back. And then we're going to go ahead and add the tree to the card. And let's see if we can get that last one off. Seems to not, the tape doesn't want to come off. So now I'm going to place my tree and line it up, and then I'm just going to press down. So now I have the tree added. So the last thing we need to add is our tree needs a star. So I have this little star that looks like this, and this was one of the stars that I picked up when I picked up some embellishments at Michael's. And I've already used one before. I think I used a white one or a gold one on one of my other trees. And we're just going to place the star right there. So now we just need to add just a couple more little things and our card will be done. So I have these little stickers and they're little snowflakes. So what I want to do is I want to add one up here in this corner, and then I want to place one probably down here in this corner. And I know you might not be able to see it because of the tree, but I kind of want them to be opposite each other in an angle. And then of course, the last thing I have to add to this card, and I didn't do it on day 14, is I've got to add the bling. We need it to just sparkle just a little bit more. So I'm going to pull out my jewels for my eye rock tool, and we're going to go ahead and add some jewels to the card right down here in the corner. And I think I'm going to add the next size up. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back with the finished card. Okay everybody, so I'm back, and this is the finished card for day 15. Thanks for watching everybody, and come back for day number 16. Bye.